social political issue of our day, the United Nations 78th session in New York. For the first time, Africans have arrived with an economic, bold agenda and a rude awakening with their fearless presentations. I'll highlight a few of my key impact delivering prezos of Africa. Namibian President, a large up to you for calling out the United States on sanctions on Cuba. Sanctions are outdated and must be dealt with and to stop. Sanctions are done in a very vindictive way, and Cuba in particular, for over 50-some years and counting. Why? So it was good to call that out. And like up to your darling wife for standing by you, another First Lady that is making highlights and impact within her nation. And I come to what I call the star of the United Nations, with all the nations crying, Big Niger, Imiloko, this is our time, have shown that yes, Africa is ready for business because he was there. He knows the gimmicks of the corporate world. Yes, President Ahmed Tinubu, no big letters behind him, ESQY, no. Soft-spoken, underestimated, but dealing with matters to the point that even the American, not whatever, exchange investment world recognized him. And he called on them. Look at the impact Nigeria is having with his presence, because he knows the savviness of corporate world, even though I'm on corporate. But Tinubu, my message to you is this time, bring the people along. But of course, directly or indirectly, your impact, economic impact in Nigeria will impact the ordinary people because they will be employed. And lastly, my other big winner following Tinubu, with all these election fake noisemakers and whatever, changing the dynamics of a small nation that most people just talk about, Blood Diamond. He have unblooded that story and impacted alongside my #1 First Lady in the world. The true, and I envy the Prezo, Bendewuti, that means that, you know, a beautiful cushion of a woman that intoxicate what positively. It's, any great man has a greater woman in front, and that is Prezo Amadabio. I don't like titles. All those are praise worshippers. Just call him President Bio or Madabio. Everybody knows he's a president. It's changing the narratives of that little country that is so rich. And these incomprehensible folks are there making noise. And of course, the First Lady impact, influence in the globe cannot be underestimated. And they both can only be imitated but never duplicated. So this 78th United Nations gathering is the most pivotal for Africa, because almost all of African leaders stood up in autonomy, from the Wibaru president in Kenya, on Uhuru Rise in Kenya, and yeah, my ears scratch with the scratching on scratching. If you see US now making Nigeria relevant and sending an Oga, a US Secretary Treasurer to Nigeria, to woo Nigeria, that means something is good happening.